Hát egy nagy gyereksereggel úgymond egy busszal mentünk kirándulni, és megállt a busz, és egyszer csak hallottunk egy nagy zörejt, és kiszálltunk a buszból, és ott volt egy autó, ami felborult egy sáncban, és egy kopasz ember szállt ki előre, és fogta a fejét, és folyamatosan először sárga, aztán zöld, aztán kék, aztán megint zöld lett a feje, és igen, elkezdett az ég hullámok voltak az égen, és színes, mindenféle színben pompáztak, mint egy hullámzó szivárvány. És az ember egyszer csak szivárvány színű fejet kapott, és felszállt az égbe. És mi visszaszálltunk a buszra, és elmentünk.
Saya terbang ke atas langit sama Fatah. Tiba-tiba saya menabrak awan dan tiba-tiba saya jatuh ke bawah trampolin.
Mimpi buruk saya adalah saya terjatuh di jurang, dan saat saya terjatuh di jurang, kepala saya terbentur di batu yang sangat runcing, yang sangat tajam, dan kepala saya pun tertancap di batu tajam itu.
Everything is like one big blank piece of paper. Like everything that exists is one smooth, unblemished blank piece of paper which kind of goes in towards the horizon. And then triangles, like drawn pencil triangles, like come down from the blank paper, sky or horizon, environment, and come on the piece of paper. And this is when the dread starts. It starts feeling. I was 9. This is when the feeling of fear starts, and then they're on the piece of paper, and then the piece of paper gets scrumpled up, and crevices of darkness come, and it gets scrumpled up, and that's when the terror starts. And then I wake up.
I used to dream that I was a really thin thread in a very bright, white, endless space. And then some huge spheres were getting closer to me and closer. And then they would just start almost drowning me.
Just dream about in Africa, and there's a lot of zebras, and I'm in the middle of the zebras and just happy, just take a photograph or something. It's really fun.
I am a unicorn, and in the dream I tend to be running or dancing on the back of a giant hippo, and I have this sense that I'm searching for something. I realise that I'm searching for what appears to be a very large rainbow, and I'm constantly searching for the end of that rainbow.
I was inside a city church, it's in the downtown, and I was standing there and watching the organ, what was whistling deeply, and I just saw a very giant bull, the bull's head instead of the organ's whistles, and the bull was breathing very hard and deeply and loudly. It was kind of scary. This bull was evil, and I just heard the organs and the bulls breathe, and from the walls small putos came with flutes and other instruments, and they were playing a kind of baroque music, and they started to pickle the bull's head, so the bull disappeared. And after the bull, it became a mosquito, and everything was red around the mosquito. But it was kind of I was the mosquito, but I saw the mosquito, and I heard heartbeat, deep heartbeat, very loudly, and the mosquito, a piece of the realities. The mosquito started to suck the piece of the this red atmosphere, and they started to grow bigger and bigger, and the heartbeat was fastening, and after the mosquito just simply bombed away.
I had this dream when I was 5, and I had this dream for 5 nights, the exact same dream. In the dream, I was with my mom in a very old airport. I lost my mom. I didn't think that I was lost. I thought it was my mom who got lost. I didn't panic. I was just like, oh, I need to find her because we're traveling to somewhere else, and I just need to get my mom back. And in that yellowish old airport, I couldn't see her. There were a lot of passengers walking around. So I left the airport, and there was a mountain next to the airport. So I walked up to the mountain, and I thought that, oh, my mom must be somewhere in the mountain. So I walked into the mountain and just keep walking, and then I saw a bath. A very like Roman style bath. There were a few men taking bath in that bathroom, and they've got like curly hair and very long beard. And I asked them, do you know where my mom went? They said, well, they pointed at a direction and said somewhere over there. I was like, oh, okay. Then I just kept walking. I left the bath. I kept walking in the mountain, and there were a lot of trees, and I saw a nest. There was a path, and I saw a nest next to the path. Instinctively, I knew that it was my mom. It all made sense in the dream that my mom turned into a nest. I just carried it on my lap, and I was on a plane. My mom was in my arms on my lap, and I carried my mom as a nest back home.
Saya pernah bermimpi itu matahari jatuh tepatnya di tembok rumah. Akan tetapi yang hancur itu rumah, bukan tembok. Nah, di dalam rumah itu ada saya, kakak, adik, dan orang tua. Kita tidak ada yang terluka atau bahkan meninggal atau mati. Dan kita semua teriak dan langsung keluar rumah dan melihat rumah sudah hancur, berantakan, dan matahari itu masih berada di atas reruntuhan. Dan waktu itu saya memandang ke atas, ke langit itu masih cerah.
In the dream, I'm in my grandparents' cottage with my family. It's an old house near lake and in middle of woods. And I'm a small boy. And the point of the dream is that there are bears outside of the house, and I'm the only one who actually can see them. And it's not actually frightened, the dream. It's more like the tension that I don't know what the bears are up to. And it's always so that my family doesn't see the bears, and I'm the only one who sees them, maybe through a window or in the woods, or I just sense the bears nearby, and I see my family or my grandmother or my mother walking by, and I know the bear with maybe with the cubs, small cubs is nearby and watching.
So the dream I have in my memory is I was really young, like 5-6 years old, and I'm in the swimming pool, in the deeper part of the swimming pool, and I don't know how to swim, and I'm feeling the water coming up my neck, And outside I see looking at me with their arms crossed my swimming teacher, because back in the time I had swimming lessons, and Superman with his cape in the wind, both looking at me, watching me drown. And that's all I remember.
I was imagining that I'm a shark and I'm locked in our house. So I was trying to reach other sharks that were going in circles around the house because everything was flooded. And then I realized there's a small window on the toilet that's still open. So I swim to the toilet, through the window, and then I joined the sharks, and I don't know, I was shark forever from then up to this day, I guess.
I came home. I was somewhere far away again, as I'm mostly. I came home, and I went to kitchen first, and I saw on the kitchen table a big lion, a big male lion with all the hair and so on, and I was really afraid of the lion. And then my wife came home with the children, and they ran into the kitchen, and my wife said, no, it's a good lion, it's a good lion, it won't eat anybody. And the children were running around the lion, and the lion was on the table trying to catch them. I said, come on, I'm crazy. I took the children away, and my wife said, no, the lion is really okay. And then I closed the kitchen door, and then I heard how the big body of lion is pressed against the door from inside. So I'm standing there holding this kitchen door, and the lion is inside.
I'm on the toilet, in the bathroom, and I open the toilet, and there is a tornado of cats who getting out, and this melting cat are making a school head, and I wake up.
I'm driving down the motorway and my car has no windscreen. Bread rolls keep falling from the sky. They get bigger and bigger and heavier and heavier. They don't really hurt me, but then every now and again a massive one will land on the car. Until I can't see the road for bread.
I dream I'm a biscuit, a custard cream, but it's with jam. That's it.
I was in an elevator. It was empty and very grey, and it had like a metallic feeling, or it was made by metal. And I was there alone, and immediately a fox appeared in the elevator, and the fox started to talk to me, saying like go away, but the elevator was closed, and I tried to escape. I tried to open the elevator, but it was totally closed, and the fox was talking to me all the time in a very calm way, like go away.
Saya juga pernah memimpikan jika ayah saya menjadi seekor katak, dan tiba-tiba dia masuk ke sebuah selang yang mengalir menuju ke jurang. Lalu saya hanya melihatnya dan saya tidak tahu apa lagi yang terjadi.
Volt olyan egyszer, hogy az ablakpárkányra raktak egy meztelen csecsemőt. És oda akartam rohanni, de nem tudtam, és nem tudom miért, mert nem volt útba semmi, nem tudtam oda menni, és keskeny volt a párkány, és a gyerek ott sírt meg kapálódzott, hogy mindjárt leesik. Na mindegy, valahogy keservesen oda kúztam, másztam, odaértem, behoztam, de nem volt semmi, hogy mibe rakjam, már ruhanemű. Úgyhogy valahol egy lepedőt találtam, és abba belegöngyölítettem, amikor sokan beözönlöttek az ajtón, és közölték, hogy az övéké, és elvitték. Úgyhogy... De hogy mondjam, én szűknek láttam az ajtót, úgy jött be a tömeg rajta, hogy majd betölti mindjárt a szobát is minden, és megfogták és elvitték, hogy az övéké.
I got home, I was checking the letterbox, check for mail. There was an envelope addressed to me. When I opened it, there was a used tampon and a note that said, yes, this is a death threat.
Just dream about in Africa, and there's a lot of zebras, and I'm in the middle of the zebras and just happy, just take a photograph or something. It's really fun.
I'm being chased in a field by a man who has a very, very long tongue, and the tongue is ripping up trees all around me, and the last thing I always remember is that it rips out the tree just in front of me that I'm hiding behind.
Jadi ketika dunia ini semua sudah kiamat, sudah kolaps, semua orang terbakar waktu itu, seseorang atau sesuatu, saya tidak melihat wujudnya, dan dia memberikan saya pilihan. Waktu itu, ketika itu saya masih hidup. Pilihannya adalah kamu ingin mati seperti yang lainnya, atau kamu ingin tetap hidup, tapi kamu saya berikan tugas untuk mengambil nyawa-nyawa orang-orang yang masih hidup, walaupun itu keluarga kamu, walaupun itu orang-orang yang kamu sayangi.
Saya pernah bermimpi ke Amerika, terus saya menaiki pesawat Apollo menuju ke bulan. Tetapi di sana saya menancapkan bendera Amerika. Tetapi di sana banyak berbagai macam hewan, seperti kucing yang sedang memakan makanannya, sapi sedang minum susu, dan ular, singa, macan, dan banyak. Di situ semua hewan ada. Dan saya kembali ke bumi. Anehnya, saya menaiki kucing. Kucing itu punya jubah di belakangnya, jadi dia bisa terbang. Saya menaiki kucing sampai ke bumi. Sampai di rumah itu, kucing meninggalkan saya ke bulan, dan keesokan harinya kucing itu kembali ke rumah saya dan mengajak saya ke bulan lagi.
I was walking in my dream, and I then came across this dark room, and no one seemed to be in it. And then the lights just switched on, and I was surrounded by a bunch of rabbis, and they joined up in a circle, grabbed me into the circle and started dancing to the Pulp Fiction theme tune in a sort of Jewish sort of style music, and running around going hey, 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 and then I woke up.
Egy reggel 10-11-re fel nem felejtem el, a nap hátamnál volt, így aludtam, és akkor felébredtem, nem mertem nagyon kinyitni a szememet, mert Jézus Krisztus a pontosság, a 2 méter, fix, a fehér ruha rajta egy darabból, mindegy pontos, de egész idáig takarta a lábát, és látszott, hogy ruha nagyon fehér, egy ilyen, mind a hótól, még nagyon szép és kellemes fehér, egy darabból, és így végig. Láttam az arcát, láttam mindent, és így levittált, vagyis állt a levegőben, anélkül semmi sem történjen, és végig úgy szépen, alig-alig egy szép mosolyal a fejemről egész végig a lábamig húzta a kezét.
One recurring dream I've had for as far back as I can remember in my life is a sort of a waking dream where I feel like I'm awake, but I know I must be dreaming because I can see things in the room with me. It's always in the dark. I'll wake up and I'll think I'm awake, and I'll sit up in bed and I'll look into the darkest corner of the room, and I always see this specific person/creature there. He's I say he because it's sort of a man-shaped form. He's crouched down on the floor in the very darkest corner of the room, and he's grinning at me. I would say looking at me, but he doesn't have eyes. He doesn't have a nose. He doesn't have ears. He just has this massive smile, very toothy smile that covers sort of a larger portion of his face area than a normal mouth would. So he's crouched down there, completely naked, completely bald, no hair, no features, nothing. I mean, smooth downstairs like a Ken doll, no nipples, no belly button, nothing. No digits, no fingers, no toes, just this big smile on this humanoid plastic-like form. It's like you've taken a Ken doll and removed all the features except for a big toothy smile, and just sits there and smiles at me. And I used to get pretty horrified, but now I'm okay with him. I welcome him. His name's Smiling Idiot, that's what I call him. So every time when I wake up and I see him there, I say hello, and then I say I'm going back to sleep now, and I roll over and get on with trying to sleep.
Okay, so I was in an elevator and I think I was running from these vampires, and then in the elevator I was like with them, but now that I was with them I was not so afraid.
I am standing in a garden with a lot of women, and all of us are getting a little bit nervous, we're getting a little bit excited because we know that something is coming, but we're not sure what it is. And I can feel like all the women getting a little bit insecure, and I'm looking at myself, like what am I wearing? I'm wearing like old yoga pants and this ripped up shirt, and I'm barefoot, so I'm feeling completely vulnerable. And I'm like, oh my god, what's coming? Like, they know what's coming, but I don't know what's coming. And suddenly these chariots come, and the men are arriving. And the men are not men, they're princes. I'm like a farrapa. Portuguese, a farrapa is like a gypsy woman. I feel like a piece of dirt, and these princes are coming. And I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? What are they gonna... And suddenly one of the girls whispers to me, she's like, they're gonna choose us. They're gonna choose us. So I'm like, oh fuck, like, the princes are gonna choose one of us, and I look like this. I'm like, fuck, okay, shit. And the first one comes out, and he's like, this man. And he points at the woman next to me, he's like, you. And she goes like, oh my god, it's me. And I'm standing there like super insecure and super vulnerable, but this prince comes out, and he looks at all the women, and he points at me. And I'm just like, okay, it's me. So he takes my hand with his like regal outfit, and he says, you're gonna come with me, and I'm gonna take you on my horse. So he climbs onto the horse like this valiant, knight in shining armor. And I like hop onto the back with my leggings, and I'm like feeling whatever. And he's like, now we're gonna play the game of life. And the game of life is that I'm just gonna ride this horse and you are gonna live. So I'm like, okay. And he's like, but before we start, I'm gonna give you this. And he takes out his sword and he gives me his sword. So suddenly I'm like a farrapa with a sword, super vulnerable, but like got this man and this horse and this sword, and I'm like, okay, get into it, right? And he starts galloping, and then we pass all these other people, and what I do is I lean back every time we pass someone, and I go and I slice off their heads, and the whole rest of the dream is just me going heads and blood everywhere, and I'm just like this ultra, what would you call it? Powerful woman.
Kalau mimpi yang tentang binatang, gue mimpi satu hari gue menemukan ular di selokan. Jadi ularnya itu besar dan gue nggak takut sama sekali sama ular itu. Jadi gue ngeliatin lumayan lama selokan itu, ngeliatin dia diem gitu, dan ular itu ngeliatin gue juga. Terus gue ambil, jadi selokannya lumayan dalam, jadi gue berusaha ngeraih. Begitu diangkat, dia berubah, tidak lagi jadi ular, tapi dia berubah jadi baju, kayak semacam sutra, cuma motifnya motif ular. Terus sutra itu bagus banget. Kemudian kakak gue lewat. Di situ gue ngasih si kain sutra itu, kasih kain ke kakak. Begitu kakak pegang, itu jadi baju bayi. Masih sutra, masih berbentuk itu, cuma dia jadi bentuk bayi, baju bayi, sorry. Terus udah gue bangun, gue ceritain kalau gue bermimpi tentang ular, gue ngambil ularnya terus jadi baju, terus gue kasih ke dia, malah jadi baju bayi. Beberapa hari kemudian kakak itu hamil, dan baju mimpi yang gue sebelumnya itu baju perempuan, dan begitu dia lahir itu anak perempuan gitu. Udah.
I dreamed that I was pregnant and I gave birth to a black cat.
I'm walking and I have a baby strapped to my back and the baby keeps on talking and talking and talking. So I ford a river to try and drown the baby to stop it talking. But the baby is shrunk to the size of a pea, and then I get out of the river, he's shrunk to the size of a pea and he's speaking in Spanish, so it does no good.
I cut my boyfriend in pieces and stuck them all in a suitcase, but the hat won't fit anywhere, so I had to leave the hat behind.
I'm in my room and one of my ex-classmates steps in. She's a beautiful girl, but a little bit boyish. And we start a kiss, we're teasing each other, and it's really good, it's really sexy. And after then, I realized that she has a dick, and it's really good. We're making love and we're having sex, and it's wonderful, so orgasmic, so good. So this is it.
Run, and I find the right person, and then I start having sex with the right person, and the right person is an alien. Yes. And then the right person becomes someone else, and then becomes an alien again. And I don't know if I'm having sex, or if I'm dreaming, or what's going on, and before I have an orgasm, I wake up.
Egy istállóban vagyok, és van illetve több ló, de van egy gyönyörű szép ilyen, egy gyönyörű szép, majd meg tudom ítélni, ilyen gyönyörű szép ló, kanca, ilyen sárgás terepszíne volt, prérin így rendesen beleolvak volna, és ez ott áll, és akkor én ott jövök, megyek, nézem, az istállószav az egészen hihetetlenül jó, kellemes, mondhatnám izgatónak tűnt az álomban, meg a trágya, meg a széna, meg a minden, meg az állatnak a szaga, és akkor oda megyek ez a kancához. Azt senkinek kérdez, hogy honnan tudtam, hogy kanca, mert ugye messziről tudtam, hogy oda kell menni pont ehhez. És megsimogatom a testét, és hát ugye a ló, azt minden nem magyarázom, de hát ott azért izmok vannak, ott azért egy gyönyörű formák, és még formák kavalkádja egy ló teste, és mondjam, meg ilyen hatalmas. És hát úgy nyilván a fejénél kezdtem, mert ott, és akkor ugye itt is, ott is paskolni, lapogatni, és stb. És eljutok a fenekéhez is, a farához, bár nekem fenéknek tűnt, és nagyon poénkedően mondtam a farához, és hát ott van a fark alatt, ott van valahol a nemi szerve, és gond nélkül megtalálom, szerintem életben nem találtam volna meg ilyen gond nélkül, akkor semmi probléma nélkül. És megszagoltam, isteni illata volt, nem tudom életben milyen, és hát megfogtam, megérintettem, és hát úgy csináltam, mint egy beondorozó gyakorlatilag. Egyre több ujjamat dugtam bele a ló nemi szervébe, és tényleg nem csinált semmit ez a ló, és hát gyakorlatilag, hogy mondják ezt, fisting? Na, hát az. Kéz, csukló, azt a minden belement, és én nagyon jól érzem magam a lón, nem tudom.
Lefeküdtem aludni az ágyamban, aztán onnan fölkeltem, nagyon kellett pisilnem, elmentem a WC-re, leültem, és valamiért le tudtam venni a fejem, és néztem magam, azt hiszem így kiszedtem a fogaimat, és aztán így leszoktam magam a levett fejemmel, de mivel levettem a fejem, ezért elvileg innen kellett volna néznem mindent, de innen láttam, de a fejem az a kezemben volt, és így leszoktam magam. És aztán a számból élveztem, és tök fura volt, és nagyon jó élmény, de nagyon bizarr.
Hát, hogy bejöttem a suliba, vártunk a tanárt, a tanár ilyen 8 ilyen 12-kor bejött, de addigra már minket megöltek, mert előtte is nem tudom, pedig vetítettünk egy nagyon jó mesét, vetítettünk, és akkor egyszer csak abból így kijött, mindenkit megölt, csak én meg a barátom maradtunk fent. És azután azt meg kértünk egy kést, azt hazudtunk, hogy tortát vágunk, 2, és akkor oda mentünk, futott után, meg ahogy futottunk, közben így tartottunk a kést, és így beleroham, és akkor ott jött a tanár, és kérdezte tőlünk, hogy mit csináltunk, kiszúrtunk le, meg hogy miért vannak ezek meghalva, hogy mi szúrtunk le, mondtunk, hogy nem, mert előjött egy szörny, és mondta, hogy hú, ezt nem hiszem el. Jöttek a rendőrök, és itt ezt az iskolát bezártak, mert azt hitték, hogy mi gyilkoltunk meg, és így nagykorunkban meg le kellett ezt ülnünk, csak a apánk meg anyánk letett az óvadékot.
It was a very clear water, yeah, and inside the water, I saw many elephants swimming.
I looked down on my heart and I saw that it was big and muscular. As I inspected it more closely, I saw an enormous tendril stemming from it. But I felt that it was somehow not supposed to be there and I wanted to cut it off. But as I started cutting it, my heart hurt terribly, as the protrusion was an organic part of it. I knew that it was not supposed to be there and I should get rid of it. So I zoomed in and I discovered tiny clamps that were holding it fast, and I started removing them one by one. It was very tiresome and incredibly painful. Once I finished and the tendril came loose, I looked up and I saw a boy at the end of the tendril weeping and kicking, and I knew that I had to get rid of him too. In that instant, 2 angels came and took him up into the sky, where he was frozen and shattered into billions of stars. Then I shut myself into a glass coffin, and the boy appeared again, flying around the glass coffin and banging it and saying I wanted to come back, and I just kept gazing at him from inside, and I embalming my heart with light for a wound to heal. That's all.
I was standing next to a concrete building, which was more a kind of weekend house, but I clearly remember it was surprisingly concrete. And I was looking up, and there was a middle-aged woman standing on the balcony, and she had she was holding a goose egg in her hand. I'm not sure if it was goose or other bird, but I think it was most likely a goose egg. And she held it in this way. And then when I was staring her, and she's smiling back to me, and perhaps winking, I'm not sure, but the point is she dropped out the goose egg. and then dropped down. And then there was this kind of roof, I don't know how you call it, it's a wavy sort of thing. And then the goose eggs went into one of the wave and then started to rolling down like in this way. And this was very funny somehow. And I was just standing, I started to worry about the egg, because somehow I felt my obligatory is to catch the egg. So I went under the roof and I was like this, and then I grabbed the egg, which was very bizarre, because somehow it was pulsing a bit like what the beating, like what the heart does, and then it was like, and I even heard this kind of sub-bass sound of it, and I felt it in my hand, but the egg was ice cold, which was a very, very weird combination. And then I was looking up, and there was another guy. There was a guy who came out to the balcony. He was also a middle-aged guy, typical Eastern European people with an Eastern European dress, came from the 70s. I never ever dreamed like that before. And these people, I mean, this guy, this middle-aged guy, held a baby in his hand, and then they said that you must throw back the egg for us, because this is our property. So this is our eggs, and you can't steal it. And then I was like, okay, but I was really surprised how he held the baby, because it was like how Michael Jackson did in Berlin when he was showed to the media, you know, and then he held it in this way, and I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And there was a couple of friends of mine, somehow they just appeared next to me, and all of us was like, oh my God, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And then he was like, look at that, exactly how Michael Jackson did it. And then what I saw in the internet a couple of days before. And then the baby was rolling. He dropped the baby, and the baby was rolling in the roof, just like the egg did. And then I put the egg into my pocket, don't ask me how, because I wear the very tight jeans, but anyway, I put it. It was a kind of very, you know, like a very soft somehow. It's like a softball. You can do this with that. And I put it there. I felt the beating in my pants, and then I was like, wow, like I just really wanted to catch the baby, and I did it and catch it. It was a totally beautiful, totally normal, approximately 1 year old, I don't know, boy or girl, but whatever, baby. And I hold him or her, and then I said that, okay, listen, now I have your egg and I have your baby, so that's it, and have a nice day. And I went away. So that was it.
There was a massive egg the size of a 5 or 6 story building, and there was a monk climbing the egg, and the egg was so big that it had little holes that you could put your hands into and climb up. As he was climbing, his hands were bleeding, and then this angel came from somewhere and started talking to him.
It was a dream about potatoes, and people always ask me what happened, and I told them there were larger ones and smaller ones.
I was in a crowd of people and I saw a girl who looked exactly the same as me. And I was, of course, I was surprised, and first thing I tried to do was to touch her, and I took her hand, and at the moment when I took her hand, I felt a huge power of happiness, of everything what's the most positive in life, but I never experienced in real life. It was just like something you can feel with your body and something you can feel with your mind, everything in once. But at the same moment I took her hand and I felt this, I wasn't able to see her anymore, and I wasn't able to see myself. We just became invisible, and I was surprised about everything what's happening. But so I just stopped holding her, and at that moment I was able to see her again, and I was really surprised. It's like impossible. What's happening here? But she seemed like really calm, like she's a copy of me, but she seems like she knows more. And I touched her again. I felt this huge thing again, but I couldn't see us again. So again split. Again I can see her, and I just realized that I have to find out what's happening. And I took one woman from the crowd, a really old woman, like a regular passenger, and I asked her, okay, can you see us now? She said, of course I can see you, like, how couldn't I? And I touched her again, but now we're invisible. Can you see us? No, of course I cannot see. And for everyone it seems like it's like a daily life, like everything is like always. So I asked her, the first question was, what's on my mind? What's happening? Why you cannot see us when we're holding each other? Why can't you see us now? And who is she? La la la. Can you see that we look exactly the same, like one person? And this woman, in it's so obvious for her. She told me, because another me already knew that. So it's clear. One of you is live, another girl is deaf, and some time ago, before coming to this world, you were united. You were like one something, and now in this world you are splitted, and that's the reason. Like all the people in this world are just half of the person, of not a person, but of something that's of what we really are, and that's the reason why human is always has this feeling of loneliness, no matter with whom he is, no matter how he's living. Is he like totally happy or something? But there's this like little part in your soul that feels that you still miss something, someone, I don't know. And she said that only at that moment, then you become united again, you will feel free again, you will feel a huge power and happiness again, but you can never know if you are deaf or if you are alive, and another part of you also doesn't know that, but that moment when you'll feel that total happiness is going to be the moment, then you'll die in this world. And yeah, so that was her answer. Of course, I started to cry because I'm a human being, and for me it's shocking, and I don't want to die, and I don't want to know that the only time I'll be totally happy is when I'll die. But she said, relax, but it's so nice to know that, because now you can feel, now you can live and you can enjoy every single moment, every single life, and you have to realize that life is like a game, and you will never catch something, like something maximum. So you have to enjoy everything you can, and you have not to look for something perfect, because something perfect is going to come to you when you are not. I mean, you cannot plan this, but it will come one day, and we all will be very happy. Yeah.
I had an elephant, and I went to a circus, and I went with my elephant. So they stole my elephant because they need it. And after the circus, I went there to get my elephant, but they had took him to New York. So I had to went to New York and pick up my elephant, and I was sitting on a plane with my elephant in a leash. This was it.